With this top on, who knows? God, I don't know. I'm gonna have to edit all that crap out. Anyway. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Holly Golightly and this is Perfumed Vegas. Let me adjust you just a little bit. Okay, there we go. I am doing a review for you today on the Cartier scent Le Baiser du Dragon. Is that right? I am doing a review for you today on the Cartier scent Le Baiser du Dragon. I hope I said that right. I can't get it better than that. Anyway, so this fragrance I purchased on Fragrance Net. And like I said before in my haul video, which should be up already. So if it's up, I will link it somewhere. If it's not, that will be coming soon. But in that video, I mentioned that I see a lot in comments, people requesting reviews of this fragrance. I see on blog comments requesting reviews of this fragrance. And it's definitely, it makes sense because it's a super intriguing fragrance. The name of it makes it intriguing. The look of the bottle makes it intriguing. And it's definitely something that would interest people, but also be a little bit concerning for a blind buy. So I'm going to tell you just kind of the basic statistics about the fragrance really fast here, so that if you came to see how it performs and how it smells, you can just get that information and go. You don't have to watch the whole video. I don't care if you stay and watch the whole video. So this is technically from the Cartier website. This is considered a Chypre fragrance. However, I would definitely classify this as like an Oriental Chypre. It has main notes of bitter almond, benzoin, and what's the last one? Vetiver. So according to Cartier website, the main accords are bitter almond, benzoin, and vetiver. So that's a little bit different than the notes listed on Fragrantica and base notes, and I'm going to get into that in a minute. But the projection of this fragrance is good. It stays at about arm's length from the first time you spray until you have a more of a dry down in about an hour to 2 hours. I'm going to go ahead and spray it on. It's not beast mode. It's actually a very polite Oriental type of fragrance. It's not in your face. It's not heavy or offensive. In the haul video, when I was talking about how the fragrance smelled on first impression, that it reminded me of something. And what it reminded me of at the time was the Agent Provocateur Eau de Parfum, just the original. However, after wearing this for a full day and testing it in between, I don't think that they really are too similar. They may be slightly similar in the very top opening notes, but on dry down there is actually no similarities between the two. However, there is enough of a fragrance profile that is similar between them that if you don't like fragrances like the Agent Provocateur Eau de Parfum, you won't probably like this. Now I say probably because everyone's going to react differently to every fragrance, and some people may not even think it smells the same as the agent provocateur fragrance. So it's kind of just a suggestion. But it is a rich oriental scent, and if things like I said before, like Original Shalimar, or again, Agent Provocateur Eau de Parfum, if that sort of kind of oriental, floriental, feminine fragrance doesn't do it for you, you may not find that Le Bisa de Dragon is your cup of tea. So the actual fragrance is available for purchase on the Cartier website, although on the Base Notes website it says it has been discontinued, which leads me to believe that there was a reformulation that happened. So I did get distracted. Sorry, I was talking about the projection, the longevity, etc. It has, like I said, the projection is about arm's length for the first hour, maybe even 2 hours. It depends on how quickly your skin adjusts fragrance. My skin tends to eat perfume pretty quickly. I do have very reactive, like chemically reactive skin. Things that can be beast mode on other people are a little bit closer to my skin, just because of the pH balance of my skin is quite different than normal due to my hyperhidrosis. So this lasted for me at about an arm's length of sillage from initial spray to about an hour into it. That was when I could really smell it on me without having to bring my skin to my nose, and when other people could still smell it on me. The scent did settle onto my skin, so it was definitely not a skin scent, but it was the type of scent that you would have to bring someone into your intimate space around you to smell it. It's not projecting anymore. And that was at about the 2-hour mark. On a good day, I would say that is going to last that way. However, at that point, the sillage of the fragrance lasts at about that reach for the next 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe even 8 hours. I really stopped noticing this scent on me at around the, I put it on at 10 a.m. and it was about 6 p.m. when I really stopped noticing the scent on me. So that's about the 8-hour mark, right? And then I actually did take a bath, and when I got out of the bath after using body wash and everything, I could slightly smell the fragrance on my skin in the crook of my arm here. Definitely it wouldn't have been noticeable to anyone else, but it did still hold on to the skin for the next several hours after my bath, even until the morning. So if you were to spray this on your clothes, this wouldn't be going anywhere on your clothes until you wash them. And on your skin, I feel the longevity is very good. Now, again, because of the pH balance of my skin being different than like what would be average, I tend to get longevity that is different for scents. That's why I prefer really deep scents, because they last a lot longer on me, which I know they last longer in general, but my skin eats fragrance like I mentioned before, so they really last longer on me. With that being said, not many last as long as Le Bisa de Dragon did. So sillage and projection are good to great if you are looking for that in an oriental vanilla type of fragrance. It's an oriental Chypre, technically. So let's get into the notes and kind of why I think maybe this has gone through a reformulation. I didn't do like a ton of back research, so maybe there's going to be people out there that are like, duh, Holly, it definitely went through reformulation. Everyone knows. You know what? I can't be bothered. Okay. So this is listed, the 2003 version of Le Bisa de Dragon was listed as discontinued on multiple different websites, including basenotes.com. However, there is a fragrance available for sale in the same bottle, same packaging, same everything on Cartier's website as of today in May 2020. The perfumer for this The perfumer for this is Alberto Morias, and he's extremely well known, quite famous nose. And I believe that the note pyramid that was created for the original fragrance in 2003 is still present in the fragrance that is offered now in 2020. But what I really noticed is that a lot of the older reviews for the scent mention heavy boozy notes, heavy like floral and woody notes. And for me, what I smell in this version, I should look up this batch code. I'm going to look up the batch code and see what year this is from. I'll put it on the screen. What I can smell from this version is the bitter almond, the vetiver, and the bitter almond, the vetiver, and the benzoin absolutely come through. The benzoin is that vanilla scent that gets kind of pushed to the top that makes it sort of that sweet oriental scent. It's not heavy with florals. I think that's its main difference from the comparison of the Agent Provocateur scent, is that it's not heavy with floral. It's actually very slight, well, not very, it's quite a bit sweeter, but also much drier. It does really have a feel of like a sweet, dry kind of liqueur feeling to it. However, the liquor note of amaretto that is listed for the 2003 version, I really don't notice an amaretto vibe at all with the fragrance that I have. It's just, it doesn't come up for me, or I just am not recognizing it. I know what amaretto smells like, but I'm not recognizing it in this fragrance. Based on the notes that are listed on basenotes.com, the top notes, amaretto, gardenia, neroli, the heart notes, iris, musk, cedarwood, Bulgarian rose, and the base notes of vetiver, patchouli, benzoin, and amber. I would say that the most prominent fragrance notes that really come through here are the three main fragrance notes I already mentioned: the benzoin, vetiver, and bitter almond, as well as the iris, the musk, and the patchouli. So it's not a freshie, it's not gourmand at all. Even with the almond and amaretto notes, I don't get any gourmand feeling from this at all. The sweetness only comes from benzoin, and benzoin is quite a spicy sort of sweetness to my nose. It is very oriental. It's quite spicy and dry. I don't understand where people are coming up with the idea that this is a gourmand scent. It does not come across that way to me at all. And again, everyone's going to react to things differently, and they're going to smell things differently. But if you go in to purchase Le Baiser du Dragon from Cartier with the idea that it is a gourmand amaretto almond scent, you're going to be disappointed. It's definitely much more on the oriental side of fragrance perfumery, and the newest versions that Cartier has available, they call Chypre. So that's a very traditional type of vintage scent DNA. So if you're thinking it's going to be more modern, more gourmand, richer, more fragrant, that's not the case. That's not what's happening here. This is a vintage smelling, very beautifully done Oriental Chypre type of fragrance, but it's not a gourmand, and it's not very modern at all. If you think of Cartier and how long they've been around as a jeweler, and then you think about their scents, this feels like a scent that could have been created by Cartier from way back in the day. It doesn't feel like it was made in 2003 at all. It smells much, 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 much older than that. So I don't know that there's really anything else that I can tell you about the fragrance. It is in production now. It is available for purchase on Cartier's website. So the scent itself, even if it was discontinued once, has been brought back. And I do think that it has likely been brought back with a reformulation due to the fact that there's so many people who reviewed this fragrance prior to 2010, 2011, and said that yes, it was very gourmand, it was very boozy, it was very almondy. And that period of time, the late noughts, the early 2010s, there was a lot of reformulation going on with designer fragrances because the FDA changed their regulations about certain properties that could be used as fixatives and preservatives in fragrance. So there was a lot of reformulation that happened during that time. Again, if it has been reformulated and it's common knowledge that it was reformulated and I just didn't do my due diligence by looking it up, so sue me. Otherwise, I hope this was helpful. Can I recommend this fragrance? Definitely. I absolutely recommend this fragrance. This is a great fragrance especially if you do prefer a more vintage scent. It's beautiful. It's not too sweet, but it's also not too floral. It's the kind of vintage Oriental vibe that you could wear without getting a headache. It lasts a long time. It lasts a really nice long time, but it doesn't project too far. You'll get noticed for sure, but in a good way. So for Cartier Le Baiser du Dragon, I definitely say that this is a good purchase, but I don't say that it is a safe blind buy. I don't consider it a safe blind buy unless you're already a fan of vintage smelling type of fragrances. In that case, go right ahead. But if you are wanting something more on the gourmand side, I think there's other boozy type of fragrances that you might like better than this. So you guys, I can barely breathe because I'm being constricted so much. I almost know what it feels like to be wearing a corset right now. I will be happy to answer any additional questions. If you feel like there was something that I missed that you're wondering about, just let me know in the comments and I will answer them to the best of my ability. I hope that you enjoyed this one-on-one review type of video for Le Baiser du Dragon by Cartier. I am going to go now and free myself from this prison of cloth. I hope to see you again on the next one. Bye!